Okay, so the big news buzzing right now. Future. PLUTO himself. He's just sold his music publishing catalog.
Yeah, and the numbers floating around are, wow.
Right. High 8 figures is what's reported. So think somewhere, I don't know, north of $65 million, maybe up to $75 million. It's huge.
Absolutely massive. And it immediately makes you think, okay, what does this actually mean?
Exactly. What does a deal like this signal about, the value of music right now? And what are the opportunities long-term for artists, the whole IP business, really?
It's a really significant moment, I think. It forces you to look at the lasting worth of songs. And how the business side of it keeps evolving.
And the sheer size of this specific deal. We're not talking about a handful of songs.
No, not at all. The reports say 612 titles.
612, covering that period from, 2004 to 2020?
That's right, 16 years of output. And it's the publishing rights we're talking about here.
Right, the songwriter's share. So just to be clear for everyone listening, this means the buyer, Influence Media, gets paid when a song Future wrote or co-wrote, gets played on the radio, used in a movie, streamed, that kind of thing. Not necessarily the money from people streaming his recording of the song, right?
Right.
That's masters.
Precisely. That's a crucial distinction. Publishing covers performance royalties, mechanicals when copies are made, sync licenses for TV and film.
It's a diverse income stream.
And this catalog, think about the hits in there. Mask Off, obviously.
Huge. And the Drake collaborations, Life is Good, Jumpman.
King's Dead with Kendrick,
Yeah.
Selfish with Rihanna, Low Life with The Weeknd. It's just hit after hit.
It really represents a significant piece of the sound of the last decade or so. His influence during that period was immense.
Totally. Think about his output then. 8 studio albums and 6 of them went to #1?
Yeah, on the Billboard 200. Plus all the mixtapes, the collabs, the singles. Over 100 singles, I think, including features. He was everywhere and really helped put Atlanta, even more firmly on the map as the center for hip-hop.
Definitely. That volume combined with the commercial success and the cultural impact, that's why the valuation is so high. It's not just past hits. It's a bet these songs will keep generating income.
Okay, so who's making this bet? Influence Media Partners. They acquired the catalog.
Right, and they're interesting. They talk about focusing on modern evergreens, songs with lasting power.
And they've got a serious backing. BlackRock, Warner Music Group. These aren't small players.
No, they just raised something like $750 million for these kinds of deals.
Yeah.
They've also bought into catalogs from Justin Timberlake, Jesse Reyes, Julia Michaels.
Taney as well, right?
Taney, yeah. But what's really noteworthy, I think, is Influence Media explicitly stating they want to recognize the value of hip-hop and R&B catalogs.
That feels like a shift, doesn't it? The financial world really seeing these genres not just as popular, but as long-term assets.
Absolutely. It signals that, the investment community sees the enduring cultural and commercial power there. It's not just a trend. It's foundational music with lasting revenue potential.
Okay, so the big questions then. Why does Future do this? And why are firms like Influence Media so keen to buy?
Well, from Future's side, the immediate massive payout is obviously a huge factor, right?
Yeah.
Turning years of work into, a very large sum of liquid cash right now.
Yeah, securing the bag, as they say. He mentioned wanting the songs in good hands and looking to his next chapter.
And there's apparently a pre-existing relationship there, too. Lynn Hazan at Influence Media worked with him before at Epic Records. That trust factor can be important in these deals.
True. And think about what that kind of money lets him do now. Reinvest in his own label, free bands, or other ventures. It gives him incredible flexibility.
It's potentially a really strategic move. He capitalizes on the peak value, perhaps, of this huge back catalog, but he still owns everything he creates from 2020 onwards. He keeps building.
So he leverages the past to fuel the future. Makes sense.
It does raise that interesting question for artists, though. When is the right time? Trading that long-term trickle of royalties for a big upfront sum and giving up some control.
Yeah, it's a trade-off. And for Influence Media, why are they buying?
Well, they see it as a reliable, long-term income stream. His songs tend to stick around, they get streamed, licensed for commercials, movies, games.
It's more predictable than, say, oil prices sometimes.
Perhaps. The comparison to stable assets like gold or oil is often made. They're betting on the continued cultural relevance and earning power of these 612 specific songs. Future's publishing was reportedly already making millions each year.
So they're paying a big multiple on that annual income, betting it continues or even grows.
Exactly. They're essentially investing in the enduring emotional connection people have with this music. That connection translates into recurring revenue. It's fascinating.
So pulling it together, massive catalog, 612 songs, 2004-2020, big money, high eight figures, future, the artist, influence media, the buyer backed by major finance. It really shines a light on music publishing as a serious asset class.
Definitely. And it shows how artists, especially in hip-hop, are increasingly recognizing and leveraging the financial power tied up in their songwriting credits. It's beyond just record sales and touring.
Future himself talked about his music having timeless value, and he's obviously going to keep making more music, building a new catalog.
Right. And it's interesting. You contrast that with, say, Kanye West, who publicly said his publishing was being shopped without his okay and declared it's not for sale.
Yeah, that highlights the other side, the importance of control, the complexities of who owns what and when.
For Future, though, this seems like a calculated move, a partnership he's comfortable with for this specific body of work.
So it leaves you wondering, doesn't it? We're seeing more of these deals. Is this just the music industry maturing, finding new ways for artists to monetize? Or, are artists potentially giving up too much long-term value for that upfront cash?
It's the central question, I think. What's the right balance between immediate financial security and that long-term legacy, the generational wealth potential, and the creative control?
And what other ways might artists leverage their IP in the future? Things we haven't even thought of yet. Definitely something to keep an eye on.